What's up, homie G's? Welcome back to the channel. We are gonna harvest some bamboo, some bambusa today. Got a new tool. It's the Geo Ripper. All right, we've got some stuff and got this thing called the Geo Ripper. Geo Ripper. Mini trencher. So ideally, we'll be able to cut bamboo like stump balls, and then should speed up our production, because currently right now there really isn't like production. It's just straight like just mining labor. Got the unboxing happening here. This is going to be the chain situation. That basically looks like a chainsaw, which is what I was looking for. So just looking for a dirt chainsaw. This might fit the bill. Looks like the Ripper. So pretty excited about this guy. Basically a dirt chainsaw, and want to get a few minutes idling it before we start really ripping it. I did do a test run. It looks pretty good. You guys, I asked on Instagram, hey, I need something to cut bamboo root stumps in half or divide them so that we can put them in pots. So what we have here is a bunch of field-grown bamboo. I have about 2 acres of it down this way. And it's gotten a spot where it's time to harvest it. I don't know when I started this, 2018, a little earlier than that, like 2016, I was going by the Sarasota bamboo farm. I had an interest in bamboo. Maybe a phase I went through where I was like, yo, I was studying bamboo, kind of went down the bamboo rabbit hole. And it was like, interesting facts. This structure right here, pound for pound, is 8 times stronger than steel, than the steel equivalent. Pretty nuts. Bamboo doesn't really rot. There's structures in Japan that are over 200 years old, like towers that they've built, like, you know, not like 100-story stuff, but 6-story, 8-story, things like that. They're like 200 years old. Anyway, so I went down the bamboo rabbit hole. It's essentially a dinosaur grass. It's literally an ancient grass. There's many varieties of it. I'm not well versed in it because my phase the phase was I want to do a tree farm. How do I do a tree farm? On the time I had a rented shop. I was renting 2 acres. Just about 2 acres on a 5-acre site. It was originally 10, then they sold off half of it. It was a nursery. The owner retired, built his dream home on it, things like that. So I was renting 2 acres of it, and the bamboo farm sold, and a developer went in there and was like, hey, you can have all the bamboo you want. And so I went in there and got 8 varieties. With what I know now, I would have been like, I don't know, I would have harvested it differently, but we went in there with like a Cat 312, like metal track excavator, and started like ripping it up and chopping it and grinding it and all sorts of stuff. And so now, a few years later, we've got 2 acres of it on a property that I since bought, so I actually moved it to one property and just put it like in an area. I basically had root balls exposed, put mulch around them, put water on it, and then rented that property for an additional 6 months or so. Eventually closed on this one, moved them out here, cut them up, planted them, etc. And so now I've got a bunch of field grown stuff that kind of looks like that when it comes out of the ground. And so the challenge is cutting this apart. And what we've been using is sawzalls, plug-in sawzalls, really slow, laborious, axes, metal shovels, ripping it apart. And I'm like, we've got a lot of bamboo to harvest out here. I have no idea how much we have. I did my first purchase of a bunch of nursery pots, loaded up the trailer, came back. We did 1 day of potting up bamboo, and I realized I don't know how many pots we're gonna have total, but probably about 7 to 10 grand just in nursery pots, just to get all this bamboo in pots. And so anyway, I need a way to divide this stuff in chunks that'll fit into 45 gallons or 30 gallons or whatever. I think we figured out 45 gallon is as big as we want to go, ideally. And so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to grab some film footage of it. We're going to see how this process goes. Hopefully it's really smooth, because I want to take something like this, then have this done with 2 guys, this and this, in an hour, potted, done in the situation. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to continue out. We're going to clean up all of our stuff back here. We're going to move this we're going to move this pipe. We're going to do a lot of excavation here, move that tank, all that stuff. This is just going to be the nursery area. So within a week's time, probably 2 weeks time, because we've got a couple big projects coming up that I can only allocate two days this week to this project, no days next week. Got a paddle trip that we're doing this weekend, so we're going like 20 miles down some sort of estuary river system this weekend, so don't have any time this weekend. So within a 2 week window, we'll have this all nursery potted up, and then we'll probably have another area over there. And ideally within a month's time, all the bamboo that we have growing will be out of the ground in a pot, mobilized, ready to be sold. Probably will take 6 months for them to root well in the pots, kind of start shooting new leaves, get their color back, and then we're just going to be selling them out. And I have no idea what our expected revenue is on there. Once I get the price list put together, I'll know, because once I have an inventory list of like, this is what we have, this is how many pots we have, this is the value of them. We're going to price them a little bit below market because I want to move them. So like I was saying, bamboo for me was a phase. I think it's a phase. It was just like, how do I get into farming and tree farms? And like with my current situation, I had like rented land, and I kept soliciting the bamboo guy and went to the bamboo guy, and I was fascinated by the stuff. And then eventually the deal opened up, and I was like, all right, this is how we're going to start it. Now with what I know, I want to utilize the resources from this sale, whatever the estimated revenue is. I don't know, it's probably more than 50, probably less than 150. I have really no idea how much, until we have everything potted up, how many pots we have and what the value of all that stuff is. But I'm expecting it to be more than 50, and I don't know. I'm doing rough napkin math, and I was like, yeah, we might have 125 in inventory. We'll see. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to start purchasing just edible plants, because that's really that's my real passion. I've kind of found that in the last few years, where it's like I really enjoy the mango trees, the avocados, the guavas, the cherries, the olives. I got stuff down this way that we've got to get planted. One thing I'm going to do though, once we start selling some bamboo, is finish upgrading the outboard on the seal. That's a project. I have all the pieces for this guy. Just about to start taking it apart. We took the first part out, the floor. We're gonna take this all out. Got a new center console for it, new seating configuration, got an extra bracket for the back. This thing's gonna be gnarly. So we're gonna take part of the revenue and do that, because it's kind of the toy fund. And I told myself, like, well, 10% of the boo sales they're going into the toy fund. We're expanding it. So got some olive trees here. We're gonna get those planted today. And so my passion and what I want to do is just continually make a mecca of a food forest for my own family and friends. And we've got that going on now. We're starting to get protein sources out of here and all sorts of fruit. Got jackfruit over there. There's stuff all over. We have over 100 trees here. We're probably going to go to like 500 within the year once the bamboo starts leaving, and probably increase our compost operation too a little bit. Really got into compost. That's kind of one of my passions as well. And yeah, I mean, we got going like that. So when we're done harvesting the bamboo, we'll know how it went. But I think for a first time agriculture move, I think it was pretty good. I think it was probably, if I were to restart, I'd probably start with chickens. With what I know now, I would do rented land, chicken tractors, where they move every day, and electric fences around them. And I'd probably start with I'd do a test run in my own backyard, a friend's backyard, like 12, 20, just to get it down. Once I felt like, okay, I know what I'm doing, I'm competent in this, I think 500 is that economic, option where you can have a regular job or a side business or small business or whatever, still service 500 birds if you have a good system with chicken tractor. And if you want to make a career out of it, you want to make a business out of it, probably over 1,000 will get you into that revenue mode where you're like, okay, this is replacing my job income. And then from there, I'd probably go that way. So moving forward, that's probably the route. I'm going to go more animal based with fruit, with a lot of edible plants, like basically food. That's where I found it's like my passions there are like trees and food. That's what we do. We take tree waste from clients. We literally take that into compost, turn the compost into trees. Trees grow food. And if I could take it full circle, which is just a time game, ideally I would love to have like smoothie shops or like maybe mobile smoothie trucks or something where we can just serve product that we literally made all of throughout the entire supply chain. Like we made the dirt, we made the tree, we made the food, we harvested the food, we sold it to you. And how do we sell it? Probably in a different currency than the US dollar. That's probably like, that would be like my real, like, that's what I want to do. Like top of the line, anything besides the US dollar. Like screw, like let's take that, like let's take down the evil empire. That's like my number one, like that's, you could do anything, that's what I want to do. Number two, food. Like we don't have any. Like we don't have any micro or macro nutrients in the US food supply. We have like slop, we've got seed oils, we've got lard. Like it's just, we don't have any food. And so, you know, I could make a real good case that we're already in a famine. We've been in a famine. You look around the empire and you're like, everything's fake and gay. You know why? This is freaking food. Because there's no food. We're eating plastics. That's basically what we're eating. You guys suggested the Geo Ripper. We're going to see. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.